Follow Alice. Speak English properly, effectively, and smartly. Hi everyone, today I'm Magician Alice. Public speaking sometimes needs predicting. It does not mean that you can predict 100% what will happen when you make the speech. It means that with proper analysis on your audience, you can predict what they would like to hear and make adaptation. A successful speaker sometimes can be a mind reader. He knows exactly what the audience wants. Sounds a little bit creepy? Well, this is definitely not some kind of magic. What you need is just some certain techniques of audience adaptation. In this way, you are more likely to make a successful speech. There are 3 stages in audience adaptation: before the speech, during the speech, and after the speech. First, before the speech. When you prepare the speech, you should know something about your audience. Remember the WWH, whom, what, and how. First, you need to figure out whom you are going to talk to. You have to know information like the size, the physical setting of the speech, their personal information like age, gender, educational background, jobs, their attitudes, beliefs, and etc. Now, these can help you prepare your speech more accordingly. Second, during the speech. Remember in the listening chapter, we talked about the 6 stages of listening. These 6 stages can help us better read our listeners' mind and appeal to them during the speech. See, here comes Winning. Hello, Winning. This first stage is receiving stage. This is where the audience start to pay close attention to us. So we need to attract their interest in a very short time. That's why experienced speakers would begin the speech with an attention getter. As a startling statement, a brief story, data, and pictures, questions, a humorous joke that are related to the speech. However, if we just have a brilliant beginning but cannot keep on saying anything meaningful, we will lose our audience in no more than 5 minutes. Therefore, in the second stage, the comprehending stage, you can see Winning, and it would make your speech clear, appropriate, and understandable for your audience. Do not hurry talking about extremely complicated terms. Simplify them. You can use metaphorical devices, stories, data to make them easy to understand. In the third stage, delivery is also very important. Your non-verbal code should match your verbal code. Scientific research shows that almost 70% of our message is carried through non-verbal messages. Therefore, if your eyes keep on sweeping around emptily, your body is rigid, if you keep on a really big smile when you are talking about a really severe event, and if you yourself do not even show interest in your speech, all these will make your words unreliable and less persuasive. Here comes the fourth stage. The fourth stage is the evaluating stage. Your audience certainly have different attitudes, values, and opinions. When you are speaking, they're also evaluating on what you say, and sometimes your audience may argue silently in their mind. So you need to make it easier for them to change their mind. Now, you may strengthen your personal credibility, highlight the credibility of your resources. Make sure your idea is clear enough to avoid misunderstanding. Express your opinions more mildly. Use powerful stories, add humors, and use dynamic style of delivery. But this does not mean that you have to win every single one in your audience. If you can please 80% of the audiences, that is enough. Now, Winning is on the fifth stage, responding stage. Responding stage is the stage to read the listeners' feedbacks. It's not hard to tell whether they are enjoying your speech or not, right? Of course, we'd like to see positive feedbacks like smiling, nodding right away, taking notes, attentive eyes, and questions. But if you see the following negative feedbacks like dozing, daydreaming, playing cell phones, and even strong impatience, you need to stop for a while and take actions to win your audience back. That's why experienced speakers would not hurry finishing the speech all at once. They know how to keep the pace during the whole speech. Here are several tips to wake up your audience. Adjust your tongue, take a break, switch to a more interesting point, show a catchy visual, give a hint of ending, and tell a joke. Remember, your audience are not machines, not vegetables. They are humans, and you are communicating with them. Well, finally, the final stage, memory stage. If you can help your audience to remember 70% of your speech, you have accomplished the final stage. Third, after the speech, we forget things quite easily. Now, the forgetting curve shows that we can keep a memory for no more than 30 days if there is no reviewing. So therefore, after you finish your speech, ask your listeners, how much do they remember right after your speech? How much do they remember 1 week later? How much do they remember 1 month later? Always remember, public speaking is about what you say and how much your audience can remember what you say. If they can keep their memory of your speech for a long time and take some actions, even the slightest one, congratulations, your speech has already made some changes to the whole world. You have already made the first step of a successful speaker.
In this class, you should remember these important points.